What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Before we get too deep into this video, be sure to comment, be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. On the road to 2,000 subscribers, and I can't do it without you guys. So today is Wednesday, July the 24th, 2024, and it's the official start of training camp, where the Commanders actually had their first practice today. So I just wanted to make a quick recap video, just recapping some of the news and notes that came out of Ashburn this morning. They literally just walked off the practice field. We're giving you this report at about 10:30 a.m. So they literally just stepped foot off of the practice field. So you know you come to us for the most instant analysis and the most raw, uncut, and unfiltered analysis on the Washington Commanders. And I hope that we plan to give you that today. Quick video, just recapping some of the things that came out of day one of training camp. So the news popped off early about 2 hours ago, came from the official team page, where we had actually activated our second round pick, our second highest draft pick, defensive tackle Jayden Newton, off of the NFI list, the non-football injury list. He was placed on there last week. And it was, when you guys checked out my last video with my 53-man roster projection, I wasn't as optimistic about, a big guy having a foot injury, but it seems like Adam Peters and Dan Quinn downplaying that injury. It seems like that was the truth for him to be activated off of that list on the first day of camp. Essentially not missing much. He's going to have a rev-up period and a wrap-up period to get as acclimated as everybody else is on the team, but he did pass his conditioning test. That was one of the requirements that you needed to be activated off of the non-football injury list. So we know that happened, and now he's just simply ramping up. Getting acclimated to getting ready to get back into the football shape and playing a football game. Because we got to think, he came straight out of college, straight into the draft season, the draft prep and things like that. So he hasn't really been around football in a while. So he's going to take these next couple of days to do that before he gets going all guns a-blazing. So we did have that. And Ben Standing even touched on it here. He says, expect a slow ramp up for the second round pick, seeing that he's been sidelined for a couple of weeks, but Newton returned much earlier than expected. Boy, did he. So the next news that was in order was Dan Quinn actually had his press conference. And I think we're going to see some, highlights and some news and notes that came out of his presser. We see a screenshot of Jayden Daniels and Sam Hartman here. Dan Quinn makes his opening statement. Dan Quinn on Johnny Newton. He has absolutely busted his ass to do everything to get ready. I see that because let alone a defensive lineman, anybody coming back from having Jones fractures on each of their foot individually and respectively, and to be able to be on the timeline of being and tracking on to be able to play come September, that's a remarkable feat, let alone for somebody that's over 300 pounds. So to see that he's already passed his conditioning test, it shows you that he's been working, even though he couldn't do much on his feet. He must have been putting a bike through hell to show that he's back to full form. So the Commanders are staying off site. I think it was reported they were saying at like Lounsden Resort or something. I forgot who was the first to report that. It's the first time that they actually stayed off site in a while. I know this is the first time that they've stayed off site since at least Richmond in 2021. Because every other camp has been in Ashburn, and I've seen the players driving in when I drive in. So I know this is the first time in a while. I'm not sure if this is something that Dan Quinn plans on doing his entire career, his entire duration of being the coach of the Commanders, but it's something that I like to see because it allows the guys to get away from football. Get away from their family so that they're dialed in on nothing, just totally football 24/7. And that's how it's supposed to be, because guess what? I know it's day one of training camp, but it's the official day one of the your new job year, the new league year. And as everybody, whether you're working a 9 to 5 or whether you're a professional football player, everybody should take their job 100% seriously and being where their feet are while they're there. Dan Quinn said the focus of the Commanders' first training camp practice will be red zone. That was interesting for me to hear because you don't necessarily see that as the first point of emphasis throughout a training camp, but I'm not mad at it. One thing that I do like about it is that we heard in mini camp through from some of the local beat reporters, because we haven't really heard anything negative from any national beat reporters, but we did hear towards the end of the later mini camp sessions that the only time that Jayden did struggle, Jayden Daniels that beat, is when he struggled and when they were in the red zone sessions, whether that be 11 on 11 or 7 on 7 and things of that nature. So that may be something that stuck out in Dan Quinn during the spring session and something that he wanted to take and really put emphasis on the first day of camp. One thing that I really like about it is that the red zone is really where those windows get tighter and you can't process as fast. You can't process as much. You got to process faster. And you really got to work on your pre-snap reads and things of that. Really focusing on the IQ to try to beat a man in the smallest windows possible. So that was something that I was very, very pleased to hear. Dan Quinn on Zach Ertz. The leadership is remarkable, but also he talks about his route running ability and the ability to find spots. That just goes in line with what we've been saying all year, that a lot of this free agent class that was brought in with the slew of one-year deals that they brought or that they signed is that a lot of these free agents were brought in to essentially set the culture and let the players that are going to be here for the long haul, the young guys, know what Commanders football is going to be like for a while, hopefully, during Dan Quinn's tenure. So guys like Bobby Wagner, guys like Zach Ertz, guys like Marcus Mariota and Austin Eckler, these are guys that were brought in to instill that culture, and Dan Quinn just simply touched on that in his pre-draft presser. Dan Quinn says, I'm not best on patience. Good, because I'm not either. He said it's how quickly we can get to becoming good. I love to hear that. Especially when you get that type of sense of urgency. That's a complete 180 from Paddleboat. Guys, from Paddleboat Ron himself. That just seemed like he didn't want to be there from time to time, if I'm being completely honest. So having that sense of urgency, that's a stark contrast from we have a chance to be eliminated from the playoffs today. That's a stark contrast from that. And I love hearing that type of fire and that type of passion from my head coach. Dan Quinn addressing the media before practice says there's an energy that comes with starting something new. There's a lot of excitement surrounding the Commanders right now. Believes he's in the right place with the right people. Absolutely. New quarterback, new GM, new head coach, new owner. It seems like we all in lockstep and we all want the same goal, which can only be positive, right? Everybody fighting for the same thing. We got my man Jayden Daniels coming out. He was walking out with Sam Hartman. I saw some people making a big deal about him bringing a basketball out to training camp. I'm not sure why. Because if you paid attention or if you look at the NFL or if you're a football fan outside of just the Commanders, you know that C.J. Stroud made this popular in his workout routine last year with a slew of different balls, sporting balls such as basketballs, soccer balls, and things of that nature, a baseball bat, just to simply work on his motion, his range of motion, to try to elongate that throwing motion to make his motion as quick as possible and as efficient as possible. And from C.J. Stroud and Jayden Daniels coming from the same quarterback coach, this didn't necessarily surprise me. It's probably something they picked up when they were working with him. The first injury situation of the Adam Peters, Dan Quinn era seems like we got told the truth. While the team didn't provide specific timeline, they were made optimistic about the second-round pick, Johnny Newton, and downplayed the foot issue. And sure enough, Newton opens up camp on the active. My sentiments exactly, JP. Like I said, just a complete contrast from what we were dealing with over the last 4 years in the Ron Rivera era, when they seemed like they wanted to be the smartest guys in the room, even though they told us they looked at the analytics of Carson Wentz on a sheet of paper. They held everything close to the vest. Think about the Curtis Samuel injury saga. Matter of fact, reading JP Finley's tweet, think about the time when Ron spazzed on JP Finley and said, Don't mention surgery. Don't. That's probably the most fire we've ever seen from Ron Rivera during his tenure here. But just a complete complete contrast of what we're used to. Yes, Zach, we are so back. We're so back. The calm before the scene, before day one. Seems like everybody in the local media was getting their first day butterflies out, their first day jitters, touring the facility. JP Finley says, no surprise, but Tyler Biotis is snapping to Jayden Daniels in warm-ups. Michael Dieter snapping to Marcus Mariota. Kind of interesting, more like day 11. Interesting, but still. Not too interesting. I think my man JP was trying to hype it up a little bit, which I'm not mad at. Got to get that engagement. I guess the most interesting part about it is that, Dan Quinn didn't necessarily name Jayden Daniels a starter in his training camp presser yesterday, but he did mention that this isn't a surprise to anybody. We not over here trying to play games with anybody. It's inevitable that Jayden's going to become the starter. We're not out here fooling anybody playing with those games, because every rep that he gets with the ones is valuable, and it seems like that is coming to fruition when they get out on the field with Jayden Daniels working with the first team centers, the first team center and new free agent acquisition, Tyler Biotis. Here you get some film of Jayden Daniels from Nikki Javala running an option. Look like an option drill with Austin Eckler. Then he gets another ball and works on his. So this is an RPO drill. Just works on his reads, works on his keys in RPO. Got some more film footage from Jayden throwing into the net. Absolute fucking dimes. Absolute fucking dimes. I remember watching Carson Wentz do this drill one time in 2022. I lied to you not. We was there for about 20 minutes. And I'm not exaggerating. So just to see my quarterback being able to hit it 2 for 2 and get it done in 20 seconds, let alone 20 minutes. The first bag drill of camp. Let me see if I can turn the volume up for this. So, bags was all the excitement coming out of rookie OTAs. Everybody was shocked by the amount of, youthfulness injection that was in the practice. And it was something that I wanted to see if it was going to be carried over to when the veterans came, and it looks like it is. You see the guys getting hype. You see the coaches getting hype. And you see that Dan Quinn has instilled a culture where everybody is already starting to buy in. They're already starting to buy in. They're already starting to get hype. Let's see if it's the same level of enthusiasm and passion come day 7 and not day 1. See some tackling dummies here. Johnny Newton's first practice. First time on the field. I think he looks explosive. He doesn't look like a 320-pounder that is coming off of 2 Jones fracture surgeries. He doesn't look like that. Look at his explosiveness off the ball. Take it with a grain of salt. It is practice, but he doesn't look like he's teetering or favoring either foot. Excuse me. But yeah, those are positive signs to see. Got a quarterback drill going on. Some more Jerzon Newton film. Some more Jayden Daniels walking out the tunnel film. Look at that hair. Look at that hair. Can I get some locks of hair, Sam Hartman? Can I borrow a couple strands of hair, my boy? I'm trying to hit my Fabio when I'm walking out the locker room as well. Some more training camp footage. Seems like Johnny Newton was the main attraction today, and we understand why we haven't got a chance to see him out on the field the entire offseason. We got some linebacker work with Ken Norton Jr. I think that was Jamin that went through it first. Frankie Louvu here. Oh, it was Bobby Wagner that went through it first. Excuse me. Who's 57? Is that one of the... That might be Pittman. Now they done push my man Jamin Davis to the back of the line. They done push my man Jamin Davis to the back of the line. Let's hope he's just working with the edge rushers and he didn't get pushed to the back. Jamison Crowder coming out for his 10th training camp. Can y'all believe that Jamison Crowder's in year 10? I can't, because he looked like it in that punt return against the Falcons last year. Wide receivers going through indies. Running back drills. Let's take a look at these running back drills. Oh, these are wide receivers. This is like pass catcher drills because I did see Brian Robinson at the beginning. Luke McCaffrey, Dax Milne. Dax Milne still on the team in 2024. Go ahead, get that money, Dax. Go ahead, get that money, man. Go ahead, get that money, man. Jayden throwing some passes on air to Zach Ertz. So Marcus Mariota did take some snaps with the first team per our guy Zach Selby from the Commanders team website. Cornelius Lucas is your starter at left tackle. And Peters told you in the pre-training camp presser yesterday that the team had a lot of faith in Cornelius Lucas, so it seems like they're following that up, at least on day one of training camp. Nice move by Luke McCaffrey on a pass from Mariota, made a defender miss before moving down the sideline to the end zone. You looking like your brother out there, Luke. Luke out there looking like Big Bro. Ain't Dad. Dad ain't make too many people miss. Dad was more of a straight line guy, but if Luke can be out there looking like Big Bro, hey, that's the reason that we bought him in, for sure. Jayden Daniels on his first series, 3 for 4 and a run with a touchdown to Ertz. Jayden Daniels was the starter on 7-on-7 drills. My man Zach Selby was working right here. Touchdown on the offense. Our guy Kaz Allen. We have a Kaz Allen signing on day one of camp. I didn't have him projected on my 53-man roster, but I like Kaz. I just think he needs to learn how to catch the ball. And I think that if Kaz has brought over some new hands and left the ones that he had last year in 2023. I do think that he has the potential to make the roster, especially in this Cliff Kingsbury offense where they emphasize playmakers having the ball in hands and having the ball in space. I think that Cass can be an asset, and I think that he could be beneficial in the return game. He just gotta catch the ball. But it looks like he caught the ball from Jayden Daniels, so hey, guess what? He's moving on up in a positive direction. Jayden Daniels opens up a drills with a TD to Brian Robinson in the end zone, on the corner of the end zone. So that was the play after Cass. So that was one touchdown. So this must have been a fucking dot because everybody's talking about it. Zach's talking about it. Nikki Javala. Jayden Daniels just threw a beautiful ball to Brian Robinson outside the shoulder for a TD in the red zone. John Keim, Jayden Daniels with a down to Brian Robinson in the right corner of the end zone. Good route, good catch. My man Lake, shout out my man Lake Lewis. I got to get him back on the episode. Friend of the show, friend of the channel. I got to get him back on the podcast. Jayden Daniels dropping dimes out here on the first day of camp. That's what I need to hit. That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. Come on, man. Come on. We were not getting this in camp. Not even last year. Even though, Sam Howell had a decent camp. Sam Howell had a good beginning of the season. We were not getting these type of reports last year. A lot of the reports we were getting where Sam was holding on to the ball. The defense was having a day. Emmanuel Forbes was strapping Terry McLaurin. Shit was bad. We weren't getting this just euphoric universal praise. Early fave for pass highlighted by the team account. Jayden. That shit must have been a dime. And I guess according to Ben Standard, we should be looking for it on the team's social media accounts later today. Zach Selby, another TD from Jayden Daniels. Kaz Allen is having himself a day. Kaz Allen is having himself a day. Daniels is having an exceptional start to camp. Just finished this team drill 4 for 4 with one handoff. Other than the one pass breakup, he's been pretty much flawless. Come on. I'm getting RG3 vibes. I'm getting RG3 circa 2012 vibes. Come on, man. I gotta stop. I gotta stop reading these. I might have to stop this video soon before I have to change my pants. Come on, man. When you've been a franchise's quarterback deprived as Washington, even these little simple reports make you wanna drive up to Ashburn and see it for yourself. And guess what? We will be boots on the ground on Sunday and next Thursday of training camp. So instead of reading tweets, we'll be live. So make sure you tap into those videos, giving you some live footage, some live coverage from Ashburn at Commanders training camp. And is that it? Because I see we led up to Terry McLaurin had a post-practice presser. Let's see if we got any quotes, any highlights from there. McLaurin on the new commander staff and the vibe. There's no favoritism. There's no, oh, you did this last year, you can feel the juice. Yeah, clean slate. When you bringing in so many new people, they don't give a damn what you did for the people that were before them. So that's a positive sign to hear. We got some updates. So John Allen spoke to the media as well. Let's see what he said. He said the team is really focused on the small stuff. It's nothing monumental, but he feels like spending more time on the minute details of his skill set can help elevate his game. I'm gonna tell you what I noticed. We got no plats. We got no choker chain. This looked like 2017 rookie John Allen. He's going into Camp 8. He's motivated. And I know he said a lot of stuff towards the end of the season, but I really think he wants to be here. And this is a guy that's been a staple in the community, the DMV raised, DMV bred, and I really would like for him to finish his career here. Let's see some more quotes that he had after the practice. Said there's a lot of guys with a lot of proof. I love it. John Allen on the locker room vibe at the start of camp, a lot of the same thing. After DT, Johnny Newton did some reps during individual. John Allen would spend a minute talking to them, providing little tips. Newton missed spring workouts because of his foot injury, so needs to get coached up on this a bit this summer. That's exactly what we talked about at the beginning of the episode when he's missed so much time. And talking about Johnny Newton, when he's missed so much time rehabbing and focusing on his injury, he hasn't had time to work on his game, to work on developing to become a better football player. So I love to hear Jonathan Allen taking the time to really work on that, being a leader. Because a lot of people are assuming that Johnny Newton might be John Allen's successor. But he's not letting that get in the way of him, giving him the tips, giving Johnny the game, and in terms helping him become a better player for the Washington Commanders, because that's going to help all parties involved. So that'll do it for our day one recap of training camp. Hopefully you guys feel more acclimated if you guys haven't heard from this news. As always, I'm going to be pushing out this content, though. And I'm going to be chopping it up on social media as well. So, as always, if you're not following our social medias, make sure you tap into our X and our Instagram, because football season is here. So, there's going to be a lot of content pushed up. I'll tag our X and our Instagram in the description. And, yeah, we'll be back for day 2 tomorrow. Exciting time. Football is here. And we're not going to stop over here bleeding B&G. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Peace.